Hello, guys. Welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show, and we are the LGBTQ channel that discusses LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ perspective and an LGBTQ approach and humanistic approach in an LGBTQ plus planet where everybody belongs to the sexual alphabet LGBTQ QIAAP, and each of us belongs to one letter in that sexual alphabet. Now, today we want to do this is Rex Arthur's art gallery, and there is no art without color. That's what you need to understand. Art is beautified with colors, and colors are found everywhere, especially in nature. You find, nature has different colors. You find green trees, you find yellow leaves, you find brown stones, you find white bears, you find black cats, you find all of these things, different colors, and then you find the rainbow. The best definition of diversity in colors and arts. It's absolutely beautiful. And we will never understand, or we are still trying to understand and trying to break the code of color, the color code. You see, solid liquids have color, and gases also have color. So it's a beautiful, beautiful subject to talk about, and that's why I've entitled it color psychology and in art and in arts and we're going to look at how colors affect human beings in different ways, both sexually and also culturally. So first of all, let's start with cultures. Now this is showing us the different color meanings around the world. When you see color black, what do you think of it? Some people think it's death, Johnny Cash, and all of these. And colors affect how messages are sent to people. So, like the red color blood, red is the color of blood, is the color of wine, and the color of rubies. In any culture, red is an attention getter. And there's probably a reason for that. According to the BBC, wearing red can change your physiology and balance of hormones and alter your performance in a football match. But what kind of attention will red attract for your business? That depends in part on where you're marketing. Yes, sometimes there are some cultures that view red differently. Other cultures view red in another way other than the other different. What does this mean? Psychology differs. Whereas in some countries, some colors make you very excited, make other people not excited. So this is the sign that relativity reigns when it comes to interpretation of colors. Because what excites one may not excite another one because of the culture they belong to. Now, but when it comes to sexual enjoyment of colors, there is something very strange you're going to see. Women tend to like color blue much as men. And that's weird, because if women are feminine, then they should like feminine colors. And the most feminine color is pink. But women tend to like blue. And you're going to see the data, and it's going to amaze you. So what does that mean? Could it mean that women love masculinity and they love strength? It could mean so. So that's very interesting. So we're going to find out that beautiful thing. Now, look at Western cultures. That's US and Western Europe. Red means love, passion, and danger. Red is a youthful, energetic color. Now remember, the communist flag is filled with red. They were very energetic. When the Communist Party began, it was burning with passion to implement the plan of Karl Marx to deliver the poor people from poverty and to deliver the workers from labor oppression. And so they needed a very hot color to energize their members. And that's why most communist countries had the red flag. You look at China, they were filled with the red flag, and the communist flag is the red and the yellow sickle. If they picked a very weird, like you see what BBC has already said, that biologically, when we see red, there's a way we become very alert. Even in football, you know, when you're playing sports, the team that is wearing red, it is kept alert than the team that is wearing a dull color. Because when you are wearing a dull color, you are not really motivated. You know, if you're in a team and you're wearing black, what happens is you are not energized. Reason being, your teammate is wearing black. So when you're passing the ball to a black dressed person, the way you'll pass that ball will not be as fiery as that guy. Like if you are a very good soccer fan, you will notice Manchester United always wore red. And even you can actually do an experiment. Most of the teams in England that did very well in the early 21st century and the late 20th century, they were red-colored teams. Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United. And if you looked at their football, it was very, very energetic. They were very forward-going. But something happened. The Blues have taken over the football, especially from 2010. And you now see Chelsea, and then you see Manchester City, and then you see Leicester. Leicester City also won, and they were a blue team. And then Man City came back again. These teams that won the Premier League, they don't even wear red at all. So there's something that happened. The game, their football, is very deceptive. When you have a very cool color, it cools you down. You are not under pressure. And if you know your teammate very well, you can pass the ball without being under any energy and under any pressure. Because I think when you have a red colored cloth, you are under pressure to perform. And who knows? Just look at that. For those of you who watch football, you will notice the blue teams are the ones ruling now in England. Of course, now there's a mix because Liverpool is waking up, Arsenal is waking up, and these are red-teamed teams. All right. So in the West, that's what red means: love, passion, danger, and youthfulness and energy. But in the Eastern or Asian cultures, red means luck, long life, and happiness. Brides often get married in red dresses to ensure a happy marriage. Yes, I've seen this with Indian marriages. In India especially, it also brings to mind purity, love, beauty, wealth, and power. So red in the East does not necessarily mean danger. It means power and wealth. In the West, red also means danger. But in the East, red just means wealth and power, apart from love and purity. Now in the Middle East, red also means danger and caution, just like the West. So you see, the West is related to the Middle East with red. When they see red, they just know danger is around. Now in Latin America, red means passion, the same with the West, but can also symbolize Christianity when used alongside white. And this is very powerful, that it can mean Christianity. What is Christianity? Christianity is the religion that believes Jesus Christ is the King of Kings because he was the perfect sacrifice for the sins of the world. And Latin America is the continent that has performed the most human sacrifices in the history of humankind. They always sacrificed humans as many times as possible because they believed sacrifice appeases the gods. So when Christianity went to Latin America, they understood it in the sacrificial sense, and they knew that the color that should represent Christianity should be red, because red is a color of sacrifice, because blood is red. So you look at that. It symbolizes Christianity alongside white. Very interesting. And in South Africa, red also represents sacrifice and mourning. As if I read it, yes. Because even in Africa, sacrifice is a very important ritual. So that's why Africans understand Christianity in the sense of sacrifice. The revival in East Africa, the Tuku Tendereza revival, was based on the fact that Jesus was the Lamb of God that was sacrificed for the sins of the world. They understood that verse because sacrifice was an African ritual, and they used to see animals shed blood that was red. So the Tuku Tendereza people revived Christianity in Africa, East Africa, because of understanding sacrifice. And the color of sacrifice is red because blood is red. And blood is the heart of sacrifice. So just see the relationship between Latin America and Africa. Now, orange is the color of firelight and the leaves in fall, but it has various meanings around the world. In the West, it means fall and harvest. It also symbolizes affordability. In Northern Ireland, it represents Protestants. It's the national color in Netherlands, and it's also associated with royalty. It's a kind, friendly, fun color and appeals to impulse buyers. Yes, people who are impulsive, when they see an orange thing, they'll just buy. You see oranges, you buy them. You see an orange hood, you will take it. You see an orange top, you will buy it. Now, look at the Eastern world. Orange is sacred in India. Yes, have you seen the Babas, Baba Sai, Baba Ramanyan, and all of these gurus, meditative gurus, these yoga gurus? They always wear orange. So orange is sacred it doesn't mean harvest in the East. It means sacredness. And even Buddhists, do you see the Buddhists? They wear orange costumes, orange togas. And the Hindus I've already explained. But in Japan and China, it symbolizes courage, happiness, prosperity, and good health. So you see. But look at the Middle East. Imagine the Middle East is related to the Eastern world, but look at what orange means. Different things. Orange means danger, mourning, and loss. And I like the Middle East for saying danger because orange is the next color to red in the rainbow spectrum. Red, orange, Richard of York. So orange is close to red, and it still means danger because it looks like red. Look at orange and look at red. See, they're a bit close to each other. They're still shouting. They're screaming. So in the Middle East, it means danger, mourning, and loss. In Latin America, orange is related to the sun and the earth. So there you have it. For them, they look at it like it's the sun. Now, yellow is the color of sunlight. And people like McDonald's use it because it has a happy vibe and is optimistic. But in the West, yellow means warmth of the sun. It's a summer color and it's hospitality. However, in France and Germany, look at this. It is associated with envy. Very interesting that yellow is an envious color in France and Germany. So you see the diversity in interpretation of colors. And culturally, if you live in France, when you see yellow, you won't see warmth. You will see envy. But if you live in another Western country other than France and Germany, when you see yellow, you see warmth. The power of culture on interpretation of color. Unbelievable. Eastern Asian cultures, they see yellow in a positive light. In Japan, it is a royal color and it means courage and prosperity. Thailand see it as a lucky color because of their king Bumibol who died. However, in China, it is pornographic. Wow. You see, when you see yellow in China and you're a Chinese, you know it means it's time to get naughty. But in Thailand, it's a lucky color, and in Japan, it's royalty. In Egypt, Middle East, it's the color of mourning. However, positive connotations are for the rest of the Middle East. So in the Middle East, Egypt is the only country that sees it as a sad color. In Latin America, yellow also means mourning. And in Africa, yellow is the color of wealth and status. And that is obvious because yellow is the color of gold. When you see gold, most people say gold is yellow. And Africa is a continent that has many gold mines, few of them, or people who desire gold. And so gold is seen as a color of wealth and status. I mean, yellow is seen as a color of wealth and status because gold is yellow. Yeah, so that's beautiful. Now, green is the color of grass and leaves, which means nature. It's a very calming color, very true. And blue is next to green. Richard of York gained battle. So green and blue are very close to each other, GB. Now, in the West, green is jealousy. However, in Ireland, it means luck. And green traffic light means go. And therefore can symbolize progress, like the green parties. Most green parties in the West are very progressive parties. Green is also used in marketing to indicate environmental awareness. Yes, because since green is a color of nature, when you want to make people environmentally aware that they should conserve the environment, you just put the green color and they will know you're talking about environmental conservation. Now in the East, green also means nature, fertility, and youth. However, in China, it also indicates infidelity. Wow, very interesting. That Chinese, when they see the color green, they know that person is a very loose human being. Now, in the Middle East, green indicates fertility, again, money, and good fortune. It's also the color of Islam, you see? So Islam is a fertility religion because they like using green. If you look at Islamic countries, almost all their flags have green to symbolize fertility and money and good fortune. Yes, so there you are. Now in Latin America, green is the national color of Mexico and is considered patriotic. But look at this. It is the color of death in some countries in South America. Wow. Unbelievable. In the East, now blue is a tranquil color for international brands, and it has very many meanings across the world. In the West, blue means trust and authority. It's also associated with tranquility, but with sadness. So when you see color blue, sometimes it's mostly a melancholic color. And, you know, this is where you get the blues. You know, I got the blues. You know, it's just sadness. And it's very interesting that the blues music is kind of sad, much as it's tranquil, because of the color they picked. Can you imagine saying, I've got the reds, and you're sad? I mean, it doesn't make sense, at least in the Western, and not only the West, in the Western, because in South Africa and Latin America, red is mourning. So it would be wise to sing I've got the reds when you're sad or when you're mourning. But in the West, if you say you've got the reds, people will look at you and wonder, what are you talking about? But when you say I've got the blues, somebody knows you're very sad. So there you are. But it basically means trust and authority. And you know that it's because it's a very stable color. And as I've told you, blue is the most popular color in the world. People love it. And I think it's because it signifies authority, and it's being tranquil. It gives somebody peace. When you look at a blue person, you feel peaceful. And who knows, maybe naturally humans are blue in emotion. We are not naturally red. All right. But in the East, blue means immortality, healing, and relaxation. In India, it's the color of Krishna and connotes strength. Yes, Krishna, the most handsome god in the world. I love him. And I think we're going to do in our religious channel or here, we're going to do a lot of looking at the picture of Krishna. He has very nice hair, nice eyes. He's sexy. And guess what? He was a trans. He's a transgender god. He can switch from man to woman. And he signifies blue. He's the Christ of Hinduism. Turkey, Greece, Iran, and Afghanistan and Albania say blue amulets. All right.